You've got ideas, you've got ambition, you've got no time, or so you think. I'm Marissa Lonick, and I help busy moms with big dreams and no time. Join me each week as I dive into time management strategies, goal setting and achieving framework, and inspiring guests who are juggling mom life, work life, fill in the blank life. Dreams don't work unless you do, and just because you're a mom doesn't mean you can't still make it happen, whatever it means to you. Welcome to the Mama Work It podcast. Hello, mama friends. Welcome back to another amazing episode of the Mama Work It podcast. Today, you guys, is the final episode of season 4 of the Mama Work It podcast. That's right. We started this show 4 seasons ago, January of 2021. It was a 2020 fashionably late goal. We all remember 2020, right? So I'm not taking any guilt, shame, even responsibility for that goal being a little bit late. When March 2020 hit, I think life fell apart for a lot of people, myself included. So we had a fashionably late 2020 goal, launched this podcast in January 2021. And every year we take a little breather, usually in the summertime. So that is what's going to be happening over the next few weeks with this show. But do not worry, we will be back. But yeah, if you are new here and you're like, what the hell is this lady talking about? Yeah. So my name's Marissa Lonick. I am your host. I'm the founder of Mama Work It, where we support women in the juggle of mom life, wife life, work life, fill in the blank life, all the lives. And yeah, today we're talking I'm practicing what I preach. I'm going to talk to you about this concept of taking breaks, because we're about to take a podcast break, but we're also about to take a little bit of a bigger break here. So I'm going to fill you in on what that looks like. And, I was thinking about this concept about taking breaks as I was sort of brainstorming what I wanted to really hone in on today's episode. And I thought first about motherhood. Motherhood feels like we never get a break, right? We are constantly doing, serving, waking up, doing all the things, cleaning, cooking, scheduling. I mean, there's so many aspects and responsibilities and so many things, just the sheer volume of roles we have and hats we wear. It really feels like we never get a break. And yet, motherhood is one of those roles in life where we probably need one more than ever, right? Like when you're an employee, when you work for an organization, you're typically allotted PTO, you take vacation, you take days off, you have holidays off, you are given breaks. Even if, you are a super hard worker, you have those breaks. When you're an entrepreneur, it can be a little bit harder. Truth be told, confession moment here, I used to never give myself breaks as an entrepreneur. Like when I first started in business, I was all about that hustle mindset. And then I started doing it, like I said, with the podcast, right? When I launched the podcast in 2021, I realized after about 30 episodes in, I'm like, ooh, I need a breather here. I need to reset, get my creativity flowing. I was in the grind. I was doing all my own editing, producing, show notes, everything at that time. So it was a real chunk of time that I was dedicating to that podcast, in addition to trying to launch and do other things in business. And so I started by giving myself that break with the podcast. And as I mentioned, we do take these seasonal breaks now every season, every year, as you've seen. But in business, I really haven't given myself a real break since I started this business. And yes, at first it was a side hustle and it was not taking up tons of time because I had a full-time job at the time. But even since it has been my full-time gig, I really have not. And I probably have needed one. And it's not because I'm burnt out or anything like that. I don't necessarily feel that level of stress or overwork or anything. I think I do a pretty good job at the work-life balance. But I am in a season where there are just lots of moving parts in life. And because of that, I feel lately like I haven't been able to show up the way I would normally show up in business. This all integrates your work, your life, all of it, motherhood. And also because I know firsthand from taking breaks with this podcast, when you walk away from something, even for a minute, you often have a whole new, fresh perspective when you return. So I know the value in taking a break from other aspects of life. And I really want to apply that from in the bigger picture of the entrepreneurial world this year. And the last reason why I know breaks are so important is because we're all human. And no matter how much you love what you do, and trust me when I say, I love what I do more than any other career I have ever had, rest is really essential to do it well. Now, I do feel like again, I'm not burnt out. I'm not stressed out. And maybe you're feeling like that in your work life right now. I'm not. Nonetheless, I still feel like a break is beneficial. And so, even if you're not in business, the things that I'm going to talk about today, I think you can still apply this break concept really in any area of your life. And whether you are feeling that level of burnout or you're not, you could definitely benefit maybe from taking a break. Like you might just be feeling like you need a breather. So I'm going to share with you what I'm going to be doing in my business so you can take that, take what works for you, take what doesn't, but maybe it'll even spark ideas for you on things you could be doing in your life over the next few days, weeks, or even months to give yourself the break you may need. So I'm also telling you this in full transparency because as I am approaching this break that I'm going to be taking, I don't want you to think I flaked out on you. Like I am all about consistency when it comes to life and business. I think consistency is the key to success in all those things. And I also really believe in taking these intentional breaks. And I feel like that is very different from being inconsistent. Why do I think that's really different? This is planned. This is being shared. This is intentional, like I said. And again, it's something that I am focused on doing. I'm honing in on doing. It's proactive. It's not necessarily reactive. So it's honoring what's needed for me while still honoring you as listeners, as clients, as supporters, as all the things. So I want to go over kind of what this break is going to look like for me, but I'm also going to give you tips on what this could look like for you if you're feeling like, oh yeah, I could use a little break right now, either from work or from this or from that, whatever's coming up for you that you're feeling like, I know if I walked away even for a day, I'd come back so refreshed, so renewed, so ready to just kick some major ass. Like get started with that goal, show up as the best possible wife or mom, just really be the highest version of you. So let's talk about the podcast first. So if you are new around here, you know, like I said, we take this break with the podcast all the time after every season, and we will be back in the fall with a whole new lineup of guests and topics. So what you can do in the meantime, if you know, this is July when this is airing, what you can do in the meantime, if you're like, but I missed the show, is listen, re-listen to past episodes. Girlfriend, we have 150 of them, including today's. You can also sign up for the newsletter and stay connected that way. And you can subscribe to the podcast if you're not already so that you get alerted as soon as possible when we're back with new episodes. Another thing I'm going to say that I would encourage you to do during this break, really, you can do this anytime, but especially during this break, is reach out, email with ideas, with topics you'd like to hear on the show, because we're going to be brainstorming, we're going to be strategizing during this quote unquote break from airing episodes, because we want to really come back intentionally and with a really great strategy of amazing topics when we're back. So why are we taking this podcast break? Well, hosting a podcast takes a lot. And I don't edit this show anymore by myself. I have a team that supports me now, but I'm still doing a ton of strategic content planning, recording, reviewing show notes, marketing new episodes. It takes work. And so I love doing the show. And I find that each year after a certain number of episodes, I need a breather. I need a breather to think about what I want to focus on next season, what I want it to look like, and to really just get back into a really good state of flow. Now, if this is you and you're not a podcast host, you might want to take a break from a particular show. Like sometimes I go through times where I'm all about learning things and I want to listen to any and every podcast that has to do with marketing and sales and SEO. And then other times I'm like, just put on a good Colleen Hoover audiobook and give me an escape. Okay. And sometimes I even just want zero noise coming through the earbuds because I need a break from all of it. So pay attention. Pay attention. Do you need a break from something you've been doing regularly, something you've been listening to regularly when it comes to stuff like this? Hopefully it's not this show, but if it is, you're in luck because for the next few weeks, you won't be getting new episodes from us. All right. So that is break number one. We are taking break number two, social media. Yeah. I've only ever taken a weekend off social media a few times since I started my business in 2018. Isn't that insane? And so it is time for a little quiet in that space because social media can be a really noisy place. So I want to focus on quieting that noise so I can get really clear on strategy, on content, and I can also give my family my full undivided attention over the next few weeks of summer. Now, could I just release content to release it? Absolutely. Absolutely. And I've done this before where I've batched content and planned ahead and put it in a scheduling tool. But I am really focused on honoring this break right now. And I'm going to take one here in the social space too. So I'm going to put up a post letting everyone know about this hiatus so you don't think I've just died or something on the other side of the screen. And don't worry, this is a break. It is not a break up. It's temporary. I'm coming back. This one is probably going to last a shorter time than the podcast, but it will still happen. A friend of mine once completely just took the whole summer off social media, and she says it was the best decision she ever made. She spent 2 months completely focused on her kids, her real life friends, like in real life. I'm not saying we don't have real friends on social media, but like IRL relationships. No pressure to post, comment, like, check DMs. She didn't compare herself inadvertently to anyone because she wasn't scrolling for hours a day. Average person spends over 2 hours a day on social media. You guys think about what you could be doing with that time if you were not on social media, if you did take a break, an intentional break from this. So you may want to consider this too if social media is feeling like somebody you're spending a little too much time with lately or something that's not making you feel amazing after you've spent some time with her. So we're taking a social media break here too. Another break we're taking is our newsletter. So I'm not totally breaking on this. I think I would cry not writing to you guys regularly, but I am going to lessen my frequency during this break period. So usually you hear from me every week. You're going to hear from me every other week for a little bit instead of my regular weekly Wednesday newsletter check-in. So again, I really want to step back. I want to honor working on the business versus working in the business. Have you heard that before? Working on the business versus in the business. Sometimes we get stuck working in the business, like doing all the day-to-day grind work, the jobs, and not thinking about CEO brain, like bigger vision strategy or just bigger vision, dreaming, all of those amazing things that I know I really love to do. So besides that, I also want to enjoy time with my family a little more over the next month. So if you're not in business, I'm going to give you a quick and dirty list of how to take breaks, even when you feel like you can't. All right. So number one, take an actual break. Okay. Like block your calendar, make it a reoccurring thing that shows up, label it break in big, bold letters, rinse and repeat. So schedule in actual breaks so that you hold yourself more accountable. Number two, how to take breaks if you are not in business and you really want breaks to be more of a thing for you. Schedule PTO. When I was looking up statistics on PTO, this one surprised me, but also didn't. Okay. 46% of workers don't use up all their PTO during the year. That's nearly half of you. Use your damn PTO, mamas. Okay. Use the PTO. So schedule it in. Number three, schedule a break over the weekend when it actually should be break time, but maybe you tend to use it as productive time. Now, I want to clarify, a break doesn't need to be laying down, doing nothing. It could be, maybe that's what you need during your break time, but it could also mean filling that time with a hobby, something you never feel like you have time to do, something that brings you joy. That can actually be a break. It could be a break from the regular day-to-day responsibilities of, filling that time in with something that makes you really happy. And then the fourth, maybe most extreme, but thing that I've heard from other mamas employed specifically in the corporate world, but probably could be anywhere, is if you really need a longer, lengthier chunk of time for this break, ask for a sabbatical. Ask for a sabbatical. The worst thing that can happen is they say no, but at least you asked. You'll never know unless you ask. So here's where I'm going to talk about things I'm not taking a break from, because reality is I still do run a business and I'm here to serve no matter what. And I just need I got to keep the wheels in motion a little bit, right? So here's where I'm not taking a break because I want to be totally transparent with you. I'm not taking a break from current clients. So if you are a current coaching client, consulting client, a speaking contract client, a collaborative client, we're not on a break. It is business as usual. These commitments are set in stone. I am here to show up as the best possible version of me in order to serve you. So no changes there. If you're listening and you're wondering like, what the hell is even going on? Am I going to see you for the next month or so? Don't worry, business as usual. And I'm also not taking a break if you are a new client. So if you find me during this mini break and you're wanting to connect for a free breakthrough call or a consultation call for your company, I am totally here for it. Okay. You can grab a spot on my calendar. My availability may be a little more limited, but it's there. Don't worry. Or if you decide to work together on either time management or biz management programs, I will always make space for you. I promise. So in a nutshell, that is what this break is going to look like for me and some tips on how taking a break could actually come to fruition for you if you're feeling like this would be beneficial. And I'm just going to throw it out there. Even if you're like, no, I'm good, you probably need a little break. So, mamas, I am so looking forward to season 5. I cannot wait. We are going to be strategizing in the behind the scenes here, planning, and I just can't wait to come back and see you with a fresh set of eyes, a fresh brain, a fresh set of ideas, a fresh lineup of guests. It's going to be amazing. In the meantime, Send me your suggestions for topics or guests. Keep in touch. You have access to reach me via my website, because remember, I may not be on social for a little while. Sign up for the newsletter. You'll hear from me only every other week during this break period. And if you're looking to work together, set up that breakthrough call. I would love to meet you. Most importantly, keep on working it, but also take a break if you need or want one. All right, mamas, I will see you soon. Bye. You've been listening to the Mama Work It podcast. I hope you've enjoyed this episode and would love if you could take a quick minute to leave me a review on whichever platform you're listening from, and maybe even send a note to a fellow mama friend recommending it. Reviews and recs help this podcast grow and reach more like-minded, awesome moms. And if you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click that button so we can stay in touch, girl. By the way, if you haven't checked out the Mama Work It website, please do. There are lots of free resources and great articles there that can help you with the juggle of work life, mom life, wife life, fill in the blank life. So head on over. Thanks again for being part of the tribe. I'll see you soon, but in the meantime, keep on working it, mama.